I think too many people grow up poor and then search for somebody with money. I think too many people grow up hard and search for somebody to make it easier. I think that too many people grow up without affection from their parent, so they search for the most affectionate person, but that affectionate person can't provide security. If you want a successful relationship, come healed. If you want a potential successful relationship, go in your strides of healing.
From a relationship perspective, is that the information is one, knowing yourself, knowing what you need, so that you can pick better, so that you can invest in a good partner. I guess what I'm trying to say is that, like, the statement you made, Alan, is right. Like, we make bad investments because we have bad information. And that's typically what would happen in the stock market or in a real estate deal. You make a bad investment because you don't know how to read the numbers. You don't know how to read the market. You don't know how to read the information that's out there. So you end up making a bad decision. But I guess from a relationship perspective, is that the information is one, knowing yourself, knowing what you need, so that you can pick better, so that you can invest in a good partner. You know, I would imagine that the skill set is the same. What you need is the same. You need good information. You need some good resources. You need some level of intelligence to make a good decision. And I think we start with bad information. And number one is information about yourself, because we're not honest with ourselves.
Talk about that.
I think we're not honest with ourselves, because how can you make a good decision about
what do you mean? About where you stand or your status?
No, what you need, like what you need. If you know you're an emotional person, or if you know you need reassurance all the time, why would you be with someone who lacks that? That's just not their personality. Why would you want to force that on somebody?
But
Why
what
would
if
you
that's
wanna
hard to
expect
find?
that from hey, okay, cool. If it's hard to find, either you're gonna be with somebody who treats you unlike what you need, and you're gonna be miserable and sad or whatever, and it's not gonna end up good for you, or you figure out the person you need, like the person who's literally willing to offer you what you need to be successful in a relationship. That's like marrying a broke dude, but you feel like you as a person, you need to eat out every day. You need a Birkin bag. You need Gucci shoes.
Everybody's been trying to fit into that box of basically love and financial freedom. It's a fantasy and it's a facade for most. I think that people are too honed in. No.
On the wrong thing?
On that, yeah, but more importantly, I think that people ignore the fact that they let their traumas influence their relationship, their future relationship. I think too many people grow up poor and then search for somebody with money. I think too many people grow up hard and search for somebody to make it easier. I think that too many people grow up without affection from their parent, so they search for the most affectionate person, but that affectionate person can't provide security. I think that the traumas that everybody goes through in their life, they look for somebody to fill that void rather than looking for who's the actual best fit for them in terms of a partnership in a marriage. So they are bad, yes, they are bad investors with their love, time, energy, effort, and youth.
So is it because they're not being honest with themselves, or they're just like failing to unpack?
Both.
Okay.
Both. I mean, everybody's different. Some people, it took me 21 years of my own life to understand where a lot of my anger came from. Even though I knew it, I didn't know the depths of it. So I could never tackle it. I could never master it. I could never conquer it. And I think that that's rare. I think a lot of people live their whole life because they go through something. You know, I was talking to a 50-year-old man one time, and this was a long time ago, and I remember saying to myself, people think that age the older you get means you'll get it. A lot of people die and they never get it. At old ages.
The wisdom, they don't get they get the age,
yeah,
but they don't get the wisdom that comes with experiences and age and stuff like that.
And some of them are fortunate enough to get lucky and marry somebody who can help dig them out of whatever it is that they, you know, are buried within themselves. But that's a risky business, and I would never want to put my fate in the hands of.
Okay, if you could say 5 things that you would attribute to a successful relationship. I don't know if it should be personal or not. Yeah, I guess it has to be personal. 5 things. What would they be?
That I basically bring to the table.
No. Just like
or that I see as.
If
like
5 key
ingredients.
things, yeah, 5 ingredients for if we're making a cake, you know, successful relationship cake. What are the 5 ingredients you think you need?
Transparency of who you were. It's #1 ingredient to having a successful relationship.
Like who you were before?
Before this relationship, who were you? Tell me who you were, because that allows me to assess your ways of thinking and your cognitive skills, and also your tendencies and your capacities. If you were somebody who were in the streets, tell me you was in the streets. If you were somebody who was, a thought, and you had a long whole face, tell me you were a thought and you had a long whole face. If you were somebody who was, and this is a hard thing, but if you were somebody who was sexually assaulted or abused, you need to tell me you were sexually assaulted and abused, because I need to know how to deal with you and how to treat you, and you know what I'm saying?
No, that's a good point.
That's one ingredient. The second ingredient is weigh people's accolades before they got to you.
What do you mean?
So
Like the other person?
Yep.
Okay.
So when you're choosing a person in this part of the successful relationship, you need to weigh the other person's accolades. Granted, this is talking from somebody who's from their mid-20s up. Because if you're 18, 19, 20, 21, you haven't done anything, right? But
You got your diploma.
who, me?
No, I'm just saying, like if you 18, you
I didn't even have a diploma, so like I got
high school,
yeah, I got barely. Nah, I'm messing around. Weigh your accolades, because that allows somebody to understand how efficient you are at reaching potential and goals, reaching your potential and goals. If you're 28 or 29 years old and you're like, yeah, I started 2 businesses, 1 flopped, 1 is doing well, at least I know you're consistent, and at least I know you know how to learn to some extent, just with general knowledge. So that's 2 that I gave you.
Mm-hmm.
The third thing I'm gonna say is come healed.
That's tough.
It's tough, but it's nobody's job to heal you. So
Can I have a quick? Can I get you? Would you say come healed or come willing to like work out whatever your issues are? Because a lot of times people don't get to healing, until much later.
if you want a successful relationship, come healed.
Okay.
If you want a potential successful relationship, go in your strides of healing. Because here's the thing. When you're going into a relationship, you don't know necessarily what that person is going to do that could trigger whatever your, traumas or issues are. So, but if you come healed, whatever they do cannot move you off your plane, and you can continue to move forward with this person because they don't know you like you know you.
Would you say that the average person is healed or even willing just to be open and to unpack themselves with somebody else?
I think the average person is scarred and they're battered. They're not healed. It's very hard to heal yourself.
Right.
Like nobody understands how hard it is to heal themselves because they refuse to actually take on the challenge of healing themselves.
Or to address what their traumas are. That's probably the hardest part.
Is give what you are asking. If you are asking a man to provide you a Lambo, you better be able to provide you or him, yourself or him, a Lambo as well. Because if you run across a person like Rico, I love talking in third person. If you run across a person like Rico, I'm gonna look at you and be like, what? I would never get you a Lambo if you couldn't get yourself a Lambo.
But let's put that in average person terms, because
okay,
Alan might have a Lambo, but I don't think anybody else in here has a Lambo. So
Alan got a Lambo. What's up, man?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like,
For the record, I don't have a Lambo.
Okay,
I might ask Aston Martin person.
Oh, I like those too. Wow, I just got. Oh, that's another subject. Oh,
Come on.
don't ask for somebody to buy you flowers every. This is going back to the fourth one. Don't ask for a man to buy you flowers every single week, and you think you're gonna hold down on having sex with him.
Or is that the same?
That's what I'm saying. Because flowers is like fulfilling you, and this
Okay.
fulfilling you, like, you know, your fantasies or your intimacy levels, and most men are, you know, fulfilled intimacy through sex. That was maybe a poor analogy, but there we go. That was like breaking it down. And the fifth thing to having a successful relationship, which I saved the best for last. And the last thing I'm gonna say, the fifth thing to sustain a successful and obtain a successful relationship, and I saved the best for last, is to thug it out. Your options
Ain't what you think they are.
they aren't what you think they are. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you know how sick a person's mind is? A person's mind is so sick that they could be in the desert, and if they get thirsty enough, they can envision water.
Delusion.
Delusion. And when you get to it, it's never water over there.
What is that called? A mirage.
A mirage, exactly. So your options are a mirage, and realistically, you don't have time. You know, people think they have time. You never have time.
Kevin Samuels thought he had time.
Yeah, rest in peace to Kevin Samuels, who's been doing his thing in the last 24 months that I've known. And just like that, you know, he passed away. And people, you never know how far you're gonna go in anything in life. And you never know how long you have with anybody in life, right? So, and you never know how long you have your opportunities last for. So I could be a guy and be like, yo, I'm rich right now at 25 years old. I can get any girl that I want. And 35-year-old, I turn 35 and I make a poor decision and I lose all my money. So now I ran through all these girls for the last 10 years, right? And broke hearts, whatever. Treated everybody terribly, maybe so, maybe not. But I ran out of money. Now I'm a 35-year-old man starting from zero, starting from scratch. And now you know what always happens to a man that gets broken? He tries to go back to the one that he should have never let go. And she's already long gone.
On to the next one. Why do you think we as a society are so delusioned as to our available options? What is it, do you think, about like society in general, or wherever our mindsets are? Like, why do you think that men are delusional about what their available options are?
Men are delusional?
Well, because you're talking about in a relationship, you know, like, you don't know, you said something about options, like,
Yeah.
we don't know what our true options are.
I mean, I don't think, see, it's so hard because if I had to speak from a guy's standpoint and a guy's point of view, it's different. That statement is generalized, right? But for most men, I gotta peel back the layers. Men start off with their value at 0 when they're born. Women start off with their value at 100 when they're born.
Really?
Yeah, gotta think about it. Let's speed this up and say that they're 18, both of them. A man at 18 is still valued at 0. He has nothing he can do to offer to get any woman and start any family.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
A woman is still 100%, even at 18. At 18, she's still heavily sought, depending on her aesthetics, right? And sometimes it doesn't even matter, depending on where country you're in. So at 18, she's still heavily sought, and she hasn't done anything. She hasn't achieved anything. All she did was exist for 18 years.
I see what you're saying.
A man existed for 18 years, and he's valued at 0. Maybe he goes to school, college-wise, and he graduates at 20, 22, 23, and now he's up 10%, right? Now this woman that's at 22, she's at 100, but if she sleeps around a lot and she's out there a lot, she goes down to 90. So he's at 10% and she's at 90. Now you go higher, now let's go straight to 30, right? They're both 30. She had 3 failed relationships. She did all these extravagant things. He never really had money, but now he finally got a 6-figure paying job.
Let's talk about average people.
Okay, he got $75,000 now he's making a year. It's a little bit higher than average.
That's actually it's like double.
Okay, he's making $60,000 a year. That's cool. 65.
I don't know. I'm just trying to break this down for like average people.
Average. Okay, so what I'm saying is, also we got to figure out what age is that average stat. Is that stat that we talk about when we're talking about a salary? Is that accompanying?
I would say like a 40-year-old person.
18 to 40, or we come like cause
right. Let's say it's
35 to 40.
Let's say 30.
You're telling me most 35 to 40-year-old men only make $45,000 a year?
No, Rico. We telling you 35 to 65 only makes $44,000.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So average age. That's
Okay.
Yeah.
But so based on what we know, right, being here at 8 at the table, we know that most men become financially stable by 33. So maybe he might only be making $45,000, $50,000 a year, but maybe his credit is good, so he has a nice, good, comfortable line of credit that he can consistently pay off and provide maybe an apartment, a house, whatever the case may be. And $45,000 in New Jersey is nothing, but $45,000 in Atlanta, Georgia is a lot.
It ain't.
Well,
It ain't.
But you get what I'm saying? Like I'm saying somewhere it's, you know,
In Alabama.
word. But as he goes up the ranks and he starts to make money, and as long as he's making money and taking care of himself, his value starts to rise, right? If a girl is 30 years old and she's not, obviously, you know, maybe she might be making money, maybe she might not, but she's living her life. By living her life, I mean exploring all her options, her value will only decrease because she already started with 100. She can't go up to 100. So now we go speed up to 45 years old, right? Now we realize the option part that we're talking about. See, I said this on 8 at the table. Most average millionaires become a millionaire at the age of 56, I think it was.
Yes, in the 50s.
Right? So at 50 years old, as a millionaire man, you can still double back and get those options. Your options will be more than it will be for a woman, right? And so now when we talk about the mirage or the facade of options that we think that we have time, because women think that they have time because they could do whatever they want to do. Men think that they have time because they're like, eventually I'll get to it.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Either way, both ends of the spectrum are detrimental to you, because even if you were to be a lucky 50-year-old man with money, how many of those women that you think that you're actually with are really with you for you?
Right.
You're going to end up alone, or you're going to end up paying for your love for the rest of your life. Miserable, if you ask me, my opinion. As a woman, you don't want to end up alone and be by yourself, and you don't also, you know, want to run through your options and exercise all your options, thinking that you would eventually get picked up by somebody that would treat you right. A lot of women get delusional about picking their man because of, listen, I'm tired of putting the blame on social media. So I'm going to find a way to talk about social media without talking about social media.
Society.
Society has mastered, well, first of all, we live in a world of illusion.
And disillusion.
Yeah, and disillusion, right? And disbelief at this point. But so because we have so much illusion that's going on, and anybody can make the illusion, create their own illusion of themselves. I can make you think I'm the most nicest person in the world, but when you meet me, I'm a stone cold asshole.
You know what it is? Everybody is creating an avatar.
Yep.
That's exactly what it is. It's an avatar.
It's bait, and everybody's fishing for something. And it look good, and then you bite the hook, and they reel you in, and now next thing you know, you're on an unwanted boat in a fish market
With a hook in your jaw.
like, and the thing is, like, you know, like I said this before, I really believe that if we just take some of the stats, right? So many people grow up misfortunate or unfortunate, right? And when they grow up unfortunate, then you go on Instagram and you see somebody living their life. You see somebody buying all these things. You see somebody posing next to cars. I say posing because we don't know if they're rented or not theirs at all.
In a parking lot.
In a parking lot. And then, yo, like, I done seen some crazy, like, there's one dude that's from New Jersey, and my boy sent him to me. He's like, yo, look at him, bro. What is he doing? I'm like, yo, this man is 31 years old. He's dressed head to toe, probably like a $5,000 outfit. But he's sitting on look like a 98 Honda Civic. And we're like, where's your priorities at? You are so because typically you're not gonna show your car, but you can show your fit. So people think that you got money. So then you go ahead, you go on Instagram. Listen, I'm an Instagrammer. I mean, I done shopped on Instagram for women, and I done got it, many times. So
you gotta teach the audience how to do that, Rico.
Teach the audience how to do it?
Yeah, you gotta teach the guys one day how to shop on Instagram for women.
You want me to do that right now?
No, not while I'm here.
No, not like
Very vaguely.
That's for you and Esso.
You got dudes and women both, right, that are, portraying themselves to be something more than what they are on social media. And then these people are so desperate to find somebody like their idols, right? Or the people that they deem to be of high status, that they'll bite the bait and know that a woman will know she's making a wrong decision and still do it to convince herself that it is the right one.
What you mean?
Dating the wrong man.
You said she'll make the wrong decision but stay to convince herself?
No, in the process, she's like, let's say she's seeking out this man, or she's allowing this man to seek her out. She knows that
she doesn't want to be wrong.
She knows she knows it's the wrong guy, but she's convincing herself that it's right.
Yeah, okay.
Right? And then next thing you know, she ends up putting herself in a position that's, could cause all types of stuff.
Detrimental.
Heartbreak, insecurities. A lot of men will use women to put everything in their name, and then now, her credit and her finances are dropped. But she knew this before getting... See, if you ask Esso, and he's not here to defend himself, they don't care, or they don't know better, right? But in my opinion, I think that they're just naive. Because they know the truth. They don't want to believe the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like a man. A man will risk it all for a woman, which doesn't make sense to me, right? A man will risk it all for a woman and know it's the wrong woman, but don't care. When a man loves, when a man is actually in love, there is no talking him out of it.
A lot of times it's hard. You've lived in this house for 10 years, but you struggled the whole time with it. That experience hasn't been good, but man, I know I can make it happen. I know I can do it, but it's just a bad investment. And it's hard for people to bite that bullet
and say that it was a bad investment.
And just cut your losses and just walk away. That's a very hard, because it's like, you know what? I failed. I made a bad decision. Might be one of the reasons for it.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing when we talk about, well, first and foremost, I don't think let me actually time that out. I done heard and seen and know dudes that said, yo, and I think that's the most corniest thing you do as a guy, by the way, is to go to a girl who's getting mistreated, right, in her relationship, or she's just not happy in her relationship, and be like, I could treat you better.
But if you in your heart of hearts feel that somebody else can do that for you, do not waste your time and do not waste my time.
Yo, I did that with my first girlfriend, right? I had this.
Ashley?
Her name was Amber. No, that wasn't, that was, you're triggering. She's triggering. So look, my first girlfriend.
Camera can't see me, just on 2 y'all.
Oh, okay.
My first real girlfriend, right? There was this one dude. First of all, she was the girl that nobody could really get in high school.
Okay. Yeah, we talked about it.
No. That was after that. I got that one after that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a double down. So, I got to get my confidence back. So, when I dated her, right, whatever, we graduated high school, and there was a person who was a year older who graduated high school who I was cool with. And every time he saw me outside of high school, because I was still in high school, my senior year, he was graduating. He's like, yo, what's up? You still dating? What's her name? I'm like, yeah. All the time he would ask me. Then even when I was in college, he would ask me. Every time I seen him, he would ask me. When we broke up, when I tell you this man, when we really broke up.
He was waiting?
Bro, when we really broke up, I was like, yo, it's been like 2 months. I haven't talked to you. Like, I'm coming home for the summer. I tried to double back. And I was like, you talking to anybody? She goes, actually, yeah. I'm like, who's? Then she said this man's name. I said, wow.
Plotting the whole time.
He been waiting for his opportunity. And I'm not mad because she's bad. But here's the funny thing. He thought he could treat her better. Sometimes, right? I think that people are so miserable right now.
Yeah.
I think people are so...
Like as a general, just across the board.
General, people are so miserable right now that they can stay in a miserable relationship.
Okay, so I think the one thing that we have to do is, and of course there are people in miserable relationships. The one thing is like understanding like 80-20, 25-75. 80-20, 25-75 is like nothing is gonna hit on all cylinders all the time. So you have to understand in your mind and prioritize what is important to me at this point in my life. What can I deal, what bullshit can I tolerate while enjoying the best of everything else in my life? You know, like for instance, there's some shit my husband do that gets on my fucking nerves. But I'm like, am I willing to leave 80% that's good and great and brings me joy and happiness for the 20% that really grinds my fucking gears? No.
That's how I feel
the
about
numbers
cheating.
don't make sense. What you mean?
Like, I don't understand cheating from a woman's perspective, especially when a man has the ability to have all the options, right? If he's doing 80% of the good and 20%, where does, you know, a situation where he was cheating fall? Does it flip all the way from 80 to 20? Is that action that he exercised weigh that much to supersede the original 80% good that he was doing?
I think that all depends on what you have established in your relationship as a deal breaker. Because if that's not a deal breaker, you be like, okay, got you. I'm at to get my lick, but okay, we're gonna still be together. You know.
I'm gonna get my lick.
But
That's
I'm not gonna leave because it's 80-20. Like that's not a deal breaker for me. But and at the same token, like men are willing to give away the 80% when a woman steps out on 15% or the 20%. You know, and I just like you just broke it down. I don't particularly understand why a man would be able to give away 80% of an incredible marriage just because his wife slept with somebody else.
Okay, so the only way it's fair is if I already did it.
But why?
Because for a man, all right, so it is different, right? And you know me, I'm the one that says equality, 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 but at the end of the day, it will never be 50-50. And because it would never be 50-50, there are certain things a woman will always have in her favor, and there's going to be certain things that a man's going to always have in their favor. And unfortunately, for women, the sexual partnership or sexual partner experience for men is always going to be in their favor, right? So when we go about it, men are more prideful, right, of their relationships and their marriage. Because I'm going to say, and depending on what type of men we're talking about, if I'm paying, listen, I'm going to say this to everybody, so I want all women to understand this. You want a man that's a provider. If I am providing for you, if I'm taking care of these bills, I don't care if it's 80-20 or 70-30. If I'm taking care of majority of these bills in this house, I'm finding a way to give you some sex that you want and sex that I want too, right? I got to put that out there. If we have a child, I'm taking care of my responsibilities as a father. And I'm making sure that emotionally I'm there for you to some capacity. And the man is not perfect, right? But I'm doing all of these things. If you decide to step outside of me when I'm giving you all of these things, and providing is the main thing, because I just listed 4 ways I'm providing for you, that means you're not satisfied and you would never be satisfied with what I have to offer for you to go out there and sleep with somebody else. So that's why it's more of a deal breaker for a man than it is a woman. Now, if you want to play devil's advocate, if a woman is paying all these bills and a woman is doing all those things, she has the right to go sleep with somebody else too, and he has to be quiet.
Okay.
But when I'm taking care of you like you are my own, You do not have that right to explore those options.
So let me ask you a question. So you made a big point about it being financial taken care of, right? So what if you're providing financially, but the woman is doing everything else, spiritually, emotionally? She respects you as a leader. She respects you as a man. She lets you live. What do you mean?
How you respecting me as a leader and you're sleeping with somebody else?
I don't, those are two separate issues.
I don't think women are having sex frivolously as much as men. And usually when women have...
I'm a woman. I know what's going on in these streets. Let your homeboys tell you what they think about women's sex lives. I'm going to tell you what I know about the sex lives of women.
When a woman cheats on a husband that's treating her good, right? Let's be realistic. Mm-hmm. A woman is cheating on her husband that's treating her good and handling majority of the things that he's able to. Like I said, he's not perfect, so he's not doing everything. And she sleeps with another man. Most of those times, right, I'm speaking about majority, not all. Most of those times, you're telling me that there is no emotions attached to that woman stepping out of that marriage.
I don't know what most, but I'm going to tell you there's definitely times when it's just sex.
I mean, you're a woman. I can't argue with you. All I'm going to say is we think differently, you know.
And I get that, but I
don't want that type of woman that could just have just sex.
Oh, you mean like with someone else?
I don't want a woman that could just have sex with just frivolous sex. I would want her to...
Okay, but what if she don't have sex? What if she... Okay, here we go.
She emotionally cheating?
She talking to this dude on the computer. She talking to him at work. She on the phone. She text messaging him, seeing him at the grocery store, X, Y, and Z. She ain't having sex with him, but that is her relationship with him.
Can I ask you, how long has this been transpiring?
I don't know, the same amount of time it transpired, like, I don't know, a month.
Doesn't matter.
A month. So a month isn't very long.
She's getting ready to fuck him then.
Okay, let's say a year and they still haven't had sex.
If it's a year, I feel more comfortable. If it's a month, I don't trust it because, this is just from my understanding of women. Granted, I'm not a woman, right? My understanding of women, 30 days is like, okay, she could be getting herself ready to potentially explore those options. If she had a whole year and she didn't explore those options, I would self-reflect. If I found that out, I'd be like, damn, you know what? I'm sorry. What am I doing wrong that's making you seek this emotional attachment from somebody? Because that's all it is an emotional attachment, which can be fixed for most cases. I don't deem that as cheating.
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Today was a great conversation with my boy Rico. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe. We have 100,000 subscribers now, so please tell your friends so we can get some more. We really want to share information with y'all. We want to share facts with y'all because we really want people to take away from what we have to say about sex, love, and relationships. Thanks for watching our 8 at the Table family, and we'll see you next time.